three, hit it!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And if you're interested in the kind of world of business and success that I will be talking about with you today, then I encourage you to check out one of our self-study programs, which is called A Whole New Way of Thinking About Business and Success. And you can find it at michaelneill.org. Now, the specific catalyst for today's session was actually shared with me by one of my students, and she said, "You got to watch this video by this. I think he's a professor named Roger Martin, and it's a Harvard Business School thing, and he talks about the difference between strategy and planning." And so, if you get the chance, I would really encourage you. It's a less than 10-minute video. It's called Strategy versus Planning, and I'd encourage you to go onto YouTube, type in Strategy versus Planning, Roger Martin, and watch his video, because I think you'll find it's a very simple presentation. So while that was the spark for this, I want to talk about it in my way. Now, in the video, he talked about how planning is something, it's what most people's default. They have a goal and then they make plans. Okay, well, I want to be successful, so I need to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do that. And the plans are generally things that make sense in your head or that you know you can do, and they sound really good on paper. Now, you may have heard the expression, "the best laid plans of mice and men oft go astray." It's actually, I think, a Rabbie Burns poem, and the language is much more Scottish. But we kind of know that planning is an imperfect strategy for getting what we want and getting where we want to go. And he goes on to make the point that while plans keep you busy, strategy is how you win. So your strategy is not specifically what you will do, but it talks about who you're doing it with, why you're doing it, within that, what you're doing and how you're doing it, so that you can win whatever game it is that you're playing. It's your winning strategy. And the downside to a strategy is you don't know whether or not it will work till you implement it. But the upside is it doesn't force you down action paths that may turn out not to be that helpful. There's an expression that comes, the two versions of it I've heard, they both involve physical violence. But Mike Tyson was talking about strategy in boxing, and he actually was talking about planning in boxing, because he said, everybody has a plan until you punch him in the mouth. Well, in the military, there's an expression that, battle plans are magnificent until the first shots are fired. So we kind of know that if we get too far down the road of what we're going to do, life has its own say in that. And often what we set out to do wouldn't even be worth doing when we're actually in the field. But strategy is a gamble. Strategy is, I'm going to take the risk that if I follow this strategy, I'm going to win the day. I'm going to win at whatever game I'm playing. And I wanted to share a couple of examples with you as a way of explaining it so that you can do it for yourself. So I encourage you, if there's a particular goal you have in your work or in your business, to use that. And the questions I'm going to ask you are, what's the playing field? In other words, who are you serving and why them? What's the deliverable? In other words, what is it that you're actually offering them? And then what's the offer? How are you going to go about doing it in a way that, they would choose you over somebody else who's offering a similar thing? And the two examples I want to give you, one of them is a real estate client. And she had a particular strategy that was quite interesting. And she decided that her playing field, the people she wanted to serve, were investors. That she wasn't interested in people buying homes for themselves. Not that she doesn't care about that, and in fact, in other parts of her business, she does that. But that she really had a fondness for the whole game of investing in property, and it was something that she did, and she has quite a portfolio of real estate. So that's what she decided. I want to serve people like me who love property as an investment strategy. Now, her deliverable, what she particularly wanted to do and does is getting buyers together with sellers. So she decided that now again, all real estate people, that's technically their job, but she decided that quite specifically, she wanted to make quick and easy sales so that she would do the work so that instead of having to run through 30 potential investors for your property or 100 potential properties for your investment, she would quickly and easily hook the right buyer up with the right property, the right investor with the right investment. And so she very specifically set out to do that. And her offer is that if you want to invest in property without all the fuss and without the days, weeks, months of research, I can save you all that time if you come and do it with me. And the way she does it is she spends a lot of time getting to know properties and getting to know people. And she is incredibly successful in her field. Now, another example. Got a friend who is a sports agent, and he's a fairly new to the field, sports agent. And his playing field, he decided, now of course his playing field would be sports, and maybe he could pick a sport. But what he decided is that he wanted his playing field to be young athletes. Athletes who aren't even at the point yet where they need an agent. In other words, he wants to be people's first agent. And the why is because he was a young football player, going into college, and he would have loved to have had somebody like him on his side. So he has a very personal connection with young athletes. Now, what is he offering with them? Well, what his deliverable is a trustworthy support network with him at the hub. So he's not just offering to represent people, he's putting together a team for them so that they've got him, but through him, they've got a lawyer. Through him, they have a financial planner. Through him, they have a life coach. Through him, they have all the different things that they're going to need as they develop and grow their career. And his specific offer, the way that he's gone in, is to go into schools, to talk to athletes before they're at the point where they're making any decisions, and to educate them about the business of professional sports, to educate them about name, image, and likeness, to educate them about the pitfalls, to educate them about the payoffs, to educate them about what people are looking for. And will it work? Well, time will tell. But because he has found a strategy that absolutely inspires him, odds are that he's going to do really well, because people will pick up on the sincerity of him and the sincerity of him offering it. And I said to him, well, what if nobody wants to hire you afterwards? He said, I'm not going to feel bad about helping people out. I would have loved to have somebody in my corner like that when I was young. I'm not going to feel bad about being that person for other people, whether they take me on or not. And that's how I knew he had a great strategy. So what about for you? What's your playing field? Who specifically do you want to serve, and why? Like, what's your connection to that? What's the deliverable? What are you actually offering? What's the thing that people are going to be paying for? And then how are you offering it? What's your strategy for getting your offer out into the world and into the hands of others? Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and I'll talk with you soon.